Okay, so what we're talking about is how to connect up to your remote server. And so what we're doing is we open Dreamweaver, we imported our sites, then we go under the site drop down, and we go to Manage Sites. We double click on the thing called My Sites, right? And that takes us into a window where we see the local root folder set up, and we click on the left to the Servers tab, and then that is where we set up the information for the remote site. Now you click on the plus symbol, and this screen comes up. Now this screen is where you're going to put in the information from the sheet, which is going to allow you to connect up to your remote site. So for server name, you can call this my websites. You can stick with that consistency if you want. Okay, and then you can click down to where it says FTP address, and then on your form here, where it says FTP server in the right-hand column, that's what you want to put. You want to put ftp.dreamco.org. Okay. Now then, you hit your click in the username box. For username, I need you to put in everything that's in the second column, second one from the left. So find your name in the very left-hand column, go over one column, and you'll see a single letter of the alphabet, and then the @ symbol, and then dreamco.org. So like mine is the letter A at dreamco.org. And then you can go down to the next field, which is the password field, and you're going to type in the password that is in the third column. And be very careful to make sure that you type this in with the correct upper or lowercase letters, and that you use the correct symbols that are in there. Now, these are not very strange, weird, hard passwords just to mess you up. These are generated, these were auto-generated by what's called a strong password generator, which creates combinations of letters, upper and lowercase, numbers, and symbols, special characters, to make it hard for these passwords to be cracked. Now, it used to be that I made things really easy. I used to call my passwords used to be things like, that I gave to the class, would be something like DAR256 Molly 2014 exclamation point, right? It just used to be crazy simple stuff like that, right? Until my website got hacked by somebody going in through one of the FTP accounts that I gave to students, right? And so what I realized was that my passwords were too simple. So let this be a lesson to you that you should always use a strong password, whether you create it yourself or you use something called a strong password generator. And those are free. You can just type strong password generator into the internet, and it will, you just say, give me a password, and it'll give you some crazy long combination of things. You can cut and paste that into a Word document so you can remember it, and then paste it into your website or your FTP server or whatever you're doing. Okay, so everybody's got their crazy long hard password typed in? Okay, so now just go down here and hit the test button.
Mine has save check and yours doesn't. Is that
Oh, I didn't type mine. I didn't type mine. I was too busy telling you how hard they are and then I was just making an excuse not to type it. Actually, yeah, you know what I did is, see, I'm cheating because that's who I am. I'm a cheater. I already did this before you guys walked in. So here's mine. I already typed the super hard password. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and hit the test button, and what you should see is it'll flash, and then it'll come up with a little dialog box that says that it's successfully connected to your web server. If that does happen, hit OK, and you're good to go. If you get anything other than that, raise your hand. Let me know. More often than not, you mistyped the password. So,
websites, they don't come up.
okay. Well, let's see. So you want to go to computer. Did you save? Do you have a folder?
Yeah.
This one? Okay. So you click that and you do that. There it is, right? And then you say, okay, so done. So now we've imported your site, right? There it is.
Oh, okay.
Now, that's how you have to do it. Now what you do is you double click on this. You go to servers, you go plus. Now you put in all that information. Who else is having trouble? A couple people.
I
Okay.
just have a question. Port 21.
Leave
Is that
that alone.
Well, I know, but is that just for this room? Like, if I went and did this at home, is it going to say
I can't tell you don't have NSA clearance. Port 21 is the default port on which they allow the public to come into web servers. So it's going to be the same on any. Stephen?
Just had a question about FTP and SFTP.
About SFTP?
Yeah.
Why aren't we? Okay. So first of all, Stephen, tell us what SFTP is. Okay. So we know FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol, which is a protocol is a system, right? A file transfer protocol simply means this is the system we use to get files across the internet from one server to another. Now, Stephen was asking why we don't use SFTP. What do you think the S stands for? Secure, right? Which means if we were using SFTP, then all of these files would be encrypted when they go over the internet, and then nobody would break into them, right? The reason we're not using it is because I've never found it to be a necessity for this class. What kind of information that you're sending over the internet from a website would you want to be encrypted? Your account information, right? Like your username and password. What else? Banking, right? Credit card numbers and stuff like that, right? So those are most of the time, like when you go to you're on an e-commerce site like Amazon, and then you go to that final checkout page. You ever notice the little lock icon? Well, if you look up in the let's see, if you look up in the web browser address bar, like if I type a web page right here, like Amazon, right? Okay, so you see up here, there's no little lock or anything like that. When you sign in to buy something and then you go to that final checkout page, if you look up here, you'll probably see two things. One, you'll see a little lock icon, and the other is you'll see, instead of the letters HTTP://, which is what is at the beginning of most web addresses, what will you see? HTTPS, which means secure. So what happens is most websites, they don't bother with securing every page of the website. They only secure that final checkout page when they know you're actually going to be dropping in sensitive information. And on the final checkout page is where the S is going to come in, the little lock icon will come on, and that means that anything that you input on that page and hit send is going to be encrypted while it's sent over the internet. Okay, so it's harder to break. All right. Now let's go back to our websites here. So you guys have filled out all this information, right? So now let's hit the Save button at the bottom. And then let's go ahead and hit Save on the next page. Now what we're going to have to do, just ignore my little warning file here, hit Done on the next page too. Okay, now what we're going to have to do, we just added more information into our site setup. We used to just be pointing to the local folder. Now we're pointing to the local and the remote. And so we're going to have to save this information and overwrite our little file that we normally import. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go up to the site window again and say Manage Sites. And you're going to have to click on this button right here in the lower left corner. It's a little icon that is... It's in the lower left corner, but it's the far right icon. It looks like a folder with a little arrow on it. And it says Export Site Settings, right? So you're going to click on that. You're going to leave the default, which says Backup My Settings, and you're going to hit OK. And then you're going to navigate to your folder on this server, or on this computer, and hopefully it'll just open to your folder, but if not, click on Computer and then User Files, open up your folder. And then what you want to do is you want to name this exactly the same thing that the other file was named. So if it was called mywebsites.ste, call it mywebsites.ste again, hit Save, and overwrite the existing file. And then when that's all done, you can hit the Done button on here. Anybody having questions or issues, raise a hand. Okay. That's correct, that's correct. So click on that and hit Save. Say yes. Yeah, and hit Done. You're perfect, yeah. So if it says, do you want to replace it, say yes. Okay, so you guys are perfect. So now next time you load in these website files, next time I tell you to import your sites, not only will you be able to work from the local folder, you'll also be able to access the remote folder. Okay, and we'll be able to do that today as well. So now what I want you to do is in Dreamweaver, this is your Files menu right here. What I want you to do is click this button on the left side of your Files menu, which is this one right here. Click that button. If you roll over it, it says Connect to Remote Server. Click it, and before you click it, it looks like two plugs that need to be plugged together, and then they plug together, and I believe a little green light comes on underneath them. Now, what you've just done is you've just connected up to your remote server. Now what I want you to do is go over to the right-hand side of this little panel here and click on this little button here. This is the button that expands the window into what's called split screen view. And so click on that. And now what you should see is on the right-hand side, you should see any files that you have in your website folder, your local root folder, right? Notice up here on the right that it says local files right here on the right, and then on the left it says remote server, and what you see is an empty folder. Okay? Who's not seeing what we're seeing? Everybody's seeing it. Okay, great. Does everybody have at least one file over here? Okay? So what I want you to do is click on that file that you have over here, like click on your index page, right? And then, once you have it clicked on, I'll pretend this is my index page because I don't have anything in here. Once you clicked on your index page, I want you to click on the up arrow, which is right above that section right there, so it's this. Click on the up arrow, which is called Put. And what that will do is it will take that page and it will upload it to the remote server. Now, it will bring up, more than likely, a little dialog box that will say, do you want to send, what are they called? Something files. Dependent. And let's say yes. Now, while you're doing that, so that means it's going to upload more than just your index page. It'll probably upload your CSS style sheet and maybe even an images folder or some images if you have them. What dependent files are is if you have a web page and you want that web page to display correctly, like let's say this is your web page, right? Now that web page has, HTML content on it, but it's also linked to a CSS style sheet, and there's also images on it that come maybe from an images folder that you made, or maybe there's just free floating images out in your directory, right? So in order for this web page to display correctly, you actually need the CSS style sheet and the images. These are what are called dependent files because this page is dependent on them to display correctly. Now when you upload web pages, you don't always need to upload the dependent files. After you've uploaded them the first time, they're already on the server and you don't need to upload them anymore. Okay? Now, to see what we've uploaded, I want you guys to open up a web browser. And I need you guys to write this down at the bottom of your pages of the page that I handed out. What you're going to write down is the location that you will be able to go to see your websites. And I'm going to type that location on the screen here. And what the location is going to be, it's going to be, you're going to want to type to view website at the bottom of your page. You're going to want to handwrite this. Go to. And you're going to want to type write HTTP. Okay, I'm going to write it up here. Okay, to view website, go to HTTP. Let me make this big so you can see it. http://www.dreamco.org/ and then I'm going to write in, I don't want you to write this in, but I'm going to write in your letter. And what I mean by that is the letter that's up here in front of the username in your column. right? So for example, my letter would be A. So if I wanted to see my website, so I would type in the letter A like that, right? Now I want you guys to write at the bottom of your page, to view website, go to http://www.dreamco.org/ and then put in your letter right there at the bottom of the page. Now then, after you've done that, go to copy that, go into your browser, type that up, and go look at it. And you should see that page. Is that what you're seeing? Okay, let me see whatever other people are seeing. Are you seeing it? You're not in there. Okay, let's see. Okay, so you just typed it. Okay, some of you guys are seeing like this index of R or whatever. All right, let's make it easier. Let's make it so that we can see something really really easy. Let's go back into Dreamweaver, and because everybody has a different page here, so I don't know what exactly you guys uploaded. Let's see. Let's go back to Dreamweaver. Go back to Dreamweaver for me. Okay, and your projects are in project folders, right? Okay, and does everybody have a folder called Project 2? Okay, I would like you to click on your Project 2 folder on the right-hand side of the screen, and then I would like you to hit the up arrow. And then when it says Include Dependent Files, say yes. Okay, now what you're going to do, in order to see Project 2, you're going to have to type all of this into the web browser. You're going to have to type, the first part. Then you're going to have to type your letter. Then you have to go / project, and you're going to have to put in the name of that folder. So if it's like project 2 _ O'Grady or something like that, you're going to have to type that, and then /, and then you're going to have to type the name of your index page. Okay? And I want you to type that into the browser after you've uploaded things. Is it not working, or are you not set up? Right, okay, all right. Okay.
Well, I'll get it. I wrote everything down.
Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and make sure you guys can actually get this. Okay, that didn't work. If it says Dreamco 404, open up that folder. Did you upload it? Oh, yours is not inside of our Project 2 folder. So go back to
Well, this is the second.
go back to the browser. Take out Project 2 R.
Yeah, that's on. Oh,
Okay. Take out that whole thing. The Project 2 R.
right. This is the first.
And one more. Okay. Now
This.
No, I think because other people's weren't coming up yours.
Okay. Is it working for you?
You don't need to. Yours work. I guess other people's weren't.
Okay. So now type. Click right there. After the line. And type.
Well, I
What did
just
you upload?
uploaded the whole folder. First time you just had us upload.
Okay.
just the
So you need to type it just like that.
So, like, if I
Oh, you know what?
here,
You
I
got,
go this,
you got a folder.
that's
with
all
a
I'm
folder.
seeing is
Okay.
just,
So yours is going to be.
Oh, just the home page. So
but
yours
now I should be able to,
see everything.
if I type
Okay,
in
so yours is going to be
the whole thing,
this.
this,
Is it an underscore?
I'm soon.
Okay, so that's the first folder, which is this one right here. Okay, so then we have to type the second folder, which is exciting. Then we have to type the 17th folder. Okay, so that's project 1 underscore. It's like typing and stuff. Oh, it's MN. This one's MN. And then index, okay. Okay, and then, there you go. It is, you're live on the web.
Wait,
because you misspelled this.
Well, I just wanted you to come over here.
Because you missed me. Okay. Now I'll go around, if you're not seeing it, I'll go around and help you out. Okay, so let's see. So you uploaded project one and then you got indexed, right? Okay, so what we're gonna do is, we're gonna go to,
Like, put it after I upload it.
So
Hold-
project two, yeah, so when you navigate to the folder after you export it, that export timer, and then
yes, you're right.
you name it that folder, project two.
Well,
Yeah, it needs
the
everything.
folder's already. Where did we do that?
There you go, very good. Gustavo, was yours work? Yeah. Okay.
When you went to manage site.
Okay,
Right
so
here.
you have uploaded
Yeah.
yours. Okay, but everything has to be exactly the same, in other words, this has to be a capital letter.
Right.
See, project, and then there's a space, see that space right there?
Exported. The whole folder. The first time it just exported the index. The second time it exported the whole folder. And then when I did that, then when I went out here, put in the whole name of the project two.
There it is. Okay, raise your hand if it's not working.
Then the whole thing.
It's working most awesomely for all of you guys. Okay, great.
Okay.
So, did you have a question, Maria? Okay. You want to import this one? Where it was coming from? Your computer? Okay, so you want to import this, right? Okay, so we just go open. Okay, can we do this? Listen, look, I'm just gonna get rid of all of this. You want the first one?
Photoshop.
Okay, so you're good. So did you save this one? Did you export it?
You know, I didn't.
You did?
No.
Like what we just did a second ago? Okay, then you're good.
I
Okay, so then,
see that it still works.
Uh,
It's an animated Photoshop.
yeah, you're good.
Did you save it as a GIF when you,
Yes, it did.
Yeah, good. Does it make sense now? Or did we just, I mean, we just cleaned it up, right? Okay. Well, oh, yeah, no, you can do that. So the way you do that is, see, the file, this file stays on your computer, okay? That's what we import. But if you want to bring in the latest file from your flash drive, you open up your flash drive in this window. And then in another window, you open up your computer. And you go into user files, you go into, now what do you want to replace here? Project two. Okay, so I know, so what we'll do is we'll delete this one, is that okay? Are you afraid? Because I don't want to delete, is this your latest one? Okay, so I'm gonna delete this one. Okay, so now we take two and we drag it over here, okay? So now you go to Dreamweaver, and if you would like to replace this one with this one, just click on that, this, and it's gonna override all that with the latest. Okay, so now, yeah, all right, it's good. Okay, how we doing? Everybody getting their websites uploaded? It's fun, isn't it? Except for Molly. That's okay, Molly, because we have your website right here we're going to look at. Okay, any questions right now? Yes. Oh, is it jacking up?
Yeah. It's,
Okay.
It's like combining project one style sheet, but this is.
Oh, well, I know why that is because,
Is it what happened last
yes, exactly right. So we can fix that.
Okay.
Okay, this is what I'm going to let you guys do. So first of all, now you have the power, right? You have the power in your hands to upload your websites to the server, which is great because now you can show them to people and get that final piece of the puzzle. Now, you can also do this from home. all right? If you have Dreamweaver set up at home and you do the same process we just did, right? And you can always watch my little video to remind yourself of it. You can set up your home computer so that it will also connect to the server. And you can upload or download files from there because it's a two-way street, right? You upload files by going over here on the right-hand side and clicking on them and hitting the up arrow. And then you can download files. So watch this. I click on this little My Websites thing. You should never upload this My Websites STE file. It doesn't need to be on the server. I'm just doing it because I have nothing else in my directory. But if I click on that little up arrow, a little arrow comes here. Sometimes it'll bring a little window up that says background files uploading. And you can see now that it's uploaded to the server. Now if I ever want to download something from the server, I simply click on it in the server window and I click the down arrow, which means download. And what it's going to do now is it's going to download to my computer and it's going to overwrite any files over here that have the same name. Okay? Now I'm going to tell you guys one thing and then I'm going to send you on break. Be careful if you decide to go home and connect your computer up to this website. Be careful and be mindful of this fact, that if you have your home computer connected to the website and you have your school computer connected to the website, that's cool and that's very convenient and I encourage you to do it, but you do run the risk of accidentally overwriting your files. Let me show you how that happens, right? So here is the remote server, which we know to be dreamco.org. I'm going to say that equals dreamco.org. Okay, now let's pick someone to pick on here. Who wants to be my volunteer? I'm not going to make you do anything. I'm just going to use you as an example. Someone brave. Okay, Lewis. Okay, so here's Lewis, right? He's at school. This is his computer, his school computer, right? And what he does is, let's say he makes project 3, right? He makes project 3, I'm going to abbreviate it P3, on his school computer, and he uploads it to the remote server, right? And he's got some old files on his flash drive that he used to make P3, but this is the final one and it got uploaded to the server, right? Well, now he goes home, okay, and he's working on his home computer, and he's like looking at the website, and he goes, you know what? There's some things I want to change about that website. So he takes out his flash drive with P3 on it, but remember, these are old files. These are not the most new ones. He loads them onto his computer, he does some tweaks to them, and he uploads them to the server from his home computer. Now he has overwritten these files, the P3 that he did at school with the P3 he did at home, and there's older information here, and he's destroyed these files because they got overwritten. Does that make sense?
No.
Okay. Let's say you have a picture of a smiley face that you upload from the school computer to the server, right? And then you go home and you're like, oh yeah, I want to upload that smiley face, but on your computer you have an older version of the smiley face that has just one eye. He's a cyclops, right? And you say, oh yeah, I want to make a change to this. I want to put a hat on him, right? And now I'm going to upload him to the server. Well, because he has the same name, smiley.jpg, as this guy over here, when you upload this smiley face to the server, it overwrites this one with the same name. Now this original smiley is gone, okay? Because he saved it on his school computer, but he has an old version on his flash drive, and so now the Cyclops smiley face is on the server. Now he could come back to the school computer and get this original smiley off of here, but it's gone off this. It's been overwritten by that. Does that make sense? Are you just nodding and smiling? You still look a little confused. Is it still a little confusing?
But,
Honestly? Okay.
but if you backed up your latest project file onto your flash drive before you take it out of here,
Right.
it'd be okay.
You would be okay. Exactly. The point I'm trying to make, it's a simple point, but it's easy to screw up,
And I'll
is let me show you this. This is the way that I work in the web design world, right? Because sometimes I'm going to change this to work and leave this one as home, right? Sometimes I work on the same website from work and home, right? So you know what I do to make sure that I never, ever, ever overwrite files? I flip this whole diagram on its head. What I do, and you can use this method too, is wherever I am at any given time and I'm working on my files, I take the most recent version of the file and I upload it to the server, right? Then I go over to the other location. Now I'm not going to trust whatever's on my flash drive because maybe I was too dopey and tired to copy it onto my flash drive. So when I get to the other location, what I do is I connect up to the server and I download the files from the server. Because the server, this is the way I think of it, the server is like the Godhead, right? It's the Apollo, it is, you know, up there. Everything that's on the server is sacrosanct and the latest version. So if wherever I go, whether I'm going to home or whether I'm going to work or whether I'm going to an internet cafe, if every place I go, I don't use the files that are on my computer, but I download them from the server, I will always have the most current version. I can make changes and then re-upload it, and then when I go somewhere else, download it again. Okay? So you can, now that, you know, you guys have been working on a local folder, right? So you've had to shuffle your files back and forth with the flash drive. If you want, you connect up to the server at home, you can use this method. You can go home and just download them from the server, work on them, upload your latest changes, come to school, download them again, and upload your latest changes. Okay? This is a method you may choose to work with, or you may not. Either way, you can still use a flash drive, but just be aware. Also, as a backup, make sure you have a backup copy of your latest web design file somewhere on the school computer on your flash drive, because it's inevitable. It happens to everybody that you accidentally overwrite newer files with older files in this model here, and so if you have a copy somewhere, then you're okay. All right, good. Yes?
Just kind of a general, so I understand, this is the FTP website, it's on your company, right?
Right.
I mean,
You mean this website that you guys all made is now on the Dreamco server?
right, I mean, it's through Dreamco, I mean.
Right.
So what, are you acting as a server, or are you at?
No, see, my plan is I have 20 people, 25 people in this class designing websites. I'm putting them all on my server, and then I go to clients and I go, look, I did these 25 websites. Aren't I great?
Right, yeah. No, I'm trying to understand.
And then I'm going to keep all your work,
No, it's just
and I'm going to sell it.
No,
No, I'm just kidding.
still not where I'm going.
Okay. Go ahead. Where are you going?
Are we gonna be able to use this for more than one thing, or is this all, this is just for this class?
Okay. I'll answer that question. So everything that we do in this class is just for this class, right? At the end of the class, let's say you made a really cool website that you dig and you want to put it up on the internet, right?
Right.
There will be a version of it up on the Dreamco server for a couple of months until I, wipe them all out and get ready for the next class, right? But what you will do when you've finished your website and you've uploaded it, it looks good, you'll take that website and you'll put a copy of it on your flash drive, right? Then you'll go home. You will purchase your own web hosting through GoDaddy or HostMonster or Bluehost. And when you get signed up with them, they will give you FTP information, just like I gave you. You will be able to take your files, just like you did today, and instead of uploading them to my server, upload them to your server with your domain name. And that way, when you type in your domain name, you'll see your files.
Right.
So the stuff that's on here is just for learning to build, but you'll be able to take that and transfer it wherever you want.
I know you can go viral with me.
Yeah, I will. That's my plan, man. I'm just sucking the life out of all you guys. Okay, take a break.
All right.
Interactive elements, adding interactivity to websites. Now I'm just going to simply cover a couple of very basic things. Now we did slideshows a week or two ago. I showed you we downloaded a slideshow from the internet and stuffed it on a website. We're going to get more into that in the future because I know some of you, like I recommended tonight, John and Omar and others, are going to want to put whole photo galleries on your website, right? We'll do that next week. We'll download 2 or 3 and show you how to do those. So that's going to happen next week. You guys kind of know what's going on with that. I'm just going to show you 2 quick things here of ways that you can get some interactivity on your websites with music and video. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to go into my website here, and I'm going to create a new file, and I'm just going to create just a generic HTML page, right? And so if you just go File, New, and say Create, you're going to get the same thing I have here, right? Now, what my goal is to have a music player on my website and also a video player. Now, back in the old days of web design, and by old days I mean like 1996, right? You used to have to hand code all of the crap on your web page to play a video or to play audio, right? Or to play any sort of media. Nowadays, you can still hand code it if you want, but more often than not, it's going to be much easier to simply take the code from another website that is hosting that media and use it to embed the media on your page, okay? So, for example, let's start with music. Now, who knows some music sites out there? Sites where, like, original bands, indie bands post music and stuff. What are some of the names of some of those sites?
Bandcamp.
Bandcamp, good. Groove Shark, okay.
Reverberation.
Right, Reverb Nation. Okay, that's good. Let's use those three, right? So Bandcamp, Reverb Nation, and Groove Shark, right? Now, if you wanted to post some music on your website, right? If you wanted to post it from another band, from a band that was on any of these websites, you could go to that website and you could get a music player and embed it on your site. If you wanted to post your music, you could do the same thing, right? You could go out, post music on a website, and then take the code from that website and put it on your site. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to Reverb Nation, and there's a band that I know locally here in town, and they're called Sock Fight. So I'm going to just type their name in there. Except it's S-O-C-K and then exclamation point and then F-I-G-H-T. Okay, there they are. Indie dance rock, da-da-da-da. Okay? So here they are. Here's their little Reverb Nation page, and you could do all kinds of crazy things like play their music. Let's play their music. Just playing on my laptop here. So this is what they sound like. Okay, so they've got a little player here that has like 4 or 5 songs, right? Now, if I want to share, if I want to put this player on my website, all I have to do is click this button called Share, right? And then you notice it has some buttons here to share it in different ways. But if I go to the bottom right and I click Embed Widget, it takes me to this page, right? And then it says get the embed code, right? Over in the left-hand corner. So clicking on the Get Code button takes all the code that was in this box and copies it to my clipboard, right? Now I can go to Dreamweaver and I can say, you know, listen to the latest from Sock Fight, okay? And then I can go over here to the code side of my window, which is the left-hand side, and I can click in here and I can paste, you know, Control V, all of the code that was copied, right? And then I can hit refresh. And what you see over on the right-hand side of the screen is just a big gray box because it's not on the web yet, so we can't see what it looks like. But let's preview this in Firefox. And there it is, right? So this is my website, but it has this player embedded on it from Reverb Nation. So all I have to do is click on a song. Okay? And it's got like 5 different songs on here. Same songs that are on their website. Okay. Sorry, I hope I'm not waking any of you up. Okay. Anyway, now every one of these major websites that has music, there's also SoundCloud. They're all going to have embeddable music players, and all you have to do is go to the page, click the share button, grab the embed code, drop it into your website, and upload it. Boom! You've got a player which is playing music from that band, right? Now, like I said, if you want to play music from your band, you can get your own free account with any of these guys, upload your music there, and then go get the embed code. Now, why is that superior to putting the music on your website?
Well, that keeps the file down.
Right, exactly. In other words, when somebody clicks on, like when I click on this button to play this first song, what happens is the music actually streams over the internet from Reverb Nation, which means that they're paying for the bandwidth, right? Which gets pretty extreme when you have 5 million downloads a month, right? So what you're doing is it's kind of like going and staying in a hotel room and somebody else paying the bill, right? You have content and media, which is high volume media, music and video are very high volume, that you can play on your website, but somebody else is paying the bill to have it streamed over the internet, okay? So that's the advantage of using embed widgets from music and video sites, okay? Now the same is true of video. Like for example, when we go to my website, the one that I made for the class, okay, and we click over here into Beginning Dreamweaver, and we scroll down until we see a video. Once my computer decides to catch up. Okay, so here's a video, right? You guys recognize where that video comes from?
YouTube.
YouTube, right? So let's see how this works. If I want to take one of these videos that I'm recording, like this one that's being recorded right now, right? When I'm done with that, I'm going to go over to YouTube. And I'm going to upload it. Let's see. I'm going to upload it to YouTube, like this video right here. And then I'm going to get the embed code for it, right? So, for example, let me try and find, I have to keep switching out because I'm not sure what account this is under. Okay, it's not that one. Sorry, it should be a lot easier than this, but it's just not. Nope. Okay, let's see. I've got these for 28 videos. It's got to be here, so show me my videos. How do I look at my videos? My channel. Okay, here it is. Okay. So see this? These are all the videos that I've uploaded to YouTube. So for example, after I'm done recording this, I'm just going to press a button. It's going to save the video and it's going to upload it to YouTube, right? Now, if we wanted to go view it on YouTube, we could click this little link and we'd see it on YouTube. We're going to hear my lovely voice. Okay, so, yeah, that's about enough. Okay, now, if you go to YouTube and you want to take any video and embed it on your site, you simply scroll down to where the share button is, right? You click on that. Once again, you click on the word embed, and then you copy what is in that box. Then you go to your web page, and once again over here in the code window you say, now check out my awesome video. And you paste that code in here, and then you preview it in your web browser, and the file was not found. That's hysterical. Okay, let's hope. What is your problem? It's, of course, it's only when I'm demoing it that it would do this to me. That's
You want me to walk up there?
so incredibly awesome. I don't know. Let's see if this one's live. We'll try another one. Go. Okay. So now. Okay. Share. Embed. Copy. Copy. Let's see. Okay. Now check out this awesome video. Let's see if this one decides it wants to work. And we'll preview it. Oh, nice. God, why would it do that? Okay, let's give up on that. Let's just go to YouTube and we'll type in something like John Cougar Mellencamp, who doesn't have problems with his videos. Okay, John Cougar, here he is. We will go down to share. We will go down to embed. We will copy his code. Okay. We will now put his code in, which of course should work unless YouTube is, I think, okay, it's not working. Okay, so the reason it's not working is because it's not on the internet. So let me go ahead and now take my page here. I'm going to save it as index and save it. Okay. And now I'm going to upload that file to my server by clicking on it and hitting the up arrow, right? And you'll see that, let's see, index, upload. Okay, so you'll see now the index page is over there. So now when I go to www.dreamcode.org/a/index.html, so now that it's on the internet, the video is working. So there was nothing wrong with my videos. It's just YouTube doesn't feel like displaying them when they're on your computer. It will only display it when it's on a live web page. So here's how to embed music. Here's how to embed video. Virtually any interactive media like this can be embedded on your page by code from any of these companies. And it's literally the best way to do it because, once again, it puts the burden on them of the cost of streaming it, where you get all the value from having the content. Okay, questions? Yes, Louis.
What if you're out in the field, take a video,
Uh-huh,
short video, 2-minute video,
right.
and you put it in your folder in your website?
Yeah.
Can you still embed it there, or would it?
Well, the reason you could, but you'd have a lot of issues because the problem is that every web browser does a different job of displaying video. Some web browsers don't display certain formats very well. Some browsers don't download the videos very quickly. The advantage, I would recommend to almost anybody to use YouTube, and the reason you want to use YouTube is because YouTube is owned by Google, which has money to just throw away, right? So they bought Google, or Google bought YouTube for what, like $4 billion or something a few years ago, and then they poured billions of dollars in to make sure that all of their videos work on all devices, right? So if you take your video, no matter what format it's in, upload it to video and get the embed code, it is guaranteed to work on everything, and it was free, okay? If you try and hand code it so that your video is an MP3, and then you make a Flash video, and then you make an OOG format video, and then you write special code that says, if it's Firefox 7, play the OOG, you know, all this crap. Why, right? Just put it on one of these services here and leverage their money and their research to make sure that it plays correctly, right? That's my suggestion. Now you can make it so that your video or your website plays your music, your audio. There are audio players that you can download, just like the slideshows. There are video players that you can download.
Okay.
But you're missing out on all of this leverage of research that these guys have done,
Not to say that YouTube will go broke, but if they do go broke,
right?
that means they're gone, and you can't embed that.
If YouTube ever went broke, they'd let you know. If they would let you know in advance, so you could download copies of all your videos, and then you could either use another service or you could put them all on your website the way you want to.
Right.
I don't think YouTube is going anywhere.
Still keep your original video.
Yeah, you still have a copy of it when you upload it. You still have your copy, right? Okay. Other questions about this exciting and stimulating media conversation?
Yeah, just kind of, I mean, downloading someone's music or whatnot. I know sometimes there's issues about copyright with downloading photographs or things. What's the difference there?
Well, the difference here is if if you are using a website like Reverb Nation that gives you the ability to embed a music player, along with that comes the permission to do it. Now the difference is I can embed this music player and play this music on my website because by virtue of giving me the ability to do that, they're also giving me permission. What I cannot do is charge people to listen to this, right? What I'm doing is I'm promoting the band for free and they're letting me use it for free, right? Now, this is a different situation. If I take John Cougar Mellencamp's video, it's the same thing. They're giving me the embed code for free. I can promote him for free. But what if I went to YouTube and I took all of John Cougar Mellencamp's videos and I put them all on a website and then I charged people to come to the #1 official John Cougar Mellencamp fan site? Then I get a letter from Sony or Universal, whoever he's on, and they'd say, take that down. You're infringing on our copyright, right? So when you're helping to promote somebody and you're not charging anything and they gave you the embed code for free, then they've said, probably in the fine print, you have permission to do this, right? If you do it on your own, like let's say you just stole this video, let's say you filmed him at a concert and then put that up on your website, if they found out about it, you'd probably get a letter, right? Unless it's a band like Phish or the Grateful Dead when they were around, they wanted people to
Yeah.
share tapes and share videos because that promotes them, right? It's part of their philosophy. Did that answer your question?
I was gonna feel about radio and stuff too, though,
Radio?
playing clubs and stuff. All the music copyrights,
Yeah, so what happens with clubs is clubs have to pay a license, and that license covers all the music they play. And those bands get a little slice of that royalty. Yeah. Okay, other questions? Yes, Omar?
Is there a way to change the format of those players?
Yes, there is. Yes, a great question. So for example, if we look at the code that came with John Cougar Mellencamp's video, we'll see that this is the code that came with it. Let's see, right here. Right now you see that the width is 420 and the height is 315, right? Now I can't do the math very well, but let's add 80 pixels to this and 80 to this. Oh God, what's that going to be? 495? 395. Okay, so let's save this. Let's upload it. Let's go back, and now look at the way John Cougar is formatted right now. And now let's refresh. Now he's bigger, right? So you can reformat this to literally any size you want. You could put it in a div and slap it over to the left or whatever. You could wrap text around it. It's content, just like anything else, you can manipulate it. But of course, if you don't get the proportions exactly right, it's going to be a little distorted. Not that most people would notice, but that's it right there. Okay, any other questions?
Streaming.
Streaming. Okay,
Is
so,
there something different or more complex?
well, essentially, both of these are streaming.
Oh,
They're streaming from Reverb Nation and YouTube. You press the button and it comes, it's all on their server and it streams over the internet to you.
well, I'm talking about like a radio station, live radio station.
Right, a live radio station. So what happens there is, in order to have streaming content, you need to have a streaming server. And most servers that you have web hosting on are not streaming servers. I had, for a brief moment, I was exploring the possibility of doing live streaming radio on the internet. So I went out and I found a service. It costs about the same as web hosting, $15 a month. They have a server that's especially set up to live stream video and audio, right? And so I paid for that account. They gave me some code to put on my website. And from that point on, if I wanted to do a live radio show or I wanted to shoot live video, I could have up to 10 people tune in simultaneously for $15 a month, right? When I went to 25 people, it became $25 a month. When it was 100 people, it was like $50 or $60 a month, right? And then there's an unlimited amount that's like $100 a month, right?
Yeah.
So basically the way it works is everybody who logs onto that stream is pulling bandwidth from the server, and they're charging you for that. So, the more money you pay, the more people you can get on at the same time.
Oh, okay.
My brother had an internet radio show that was on the air for several years. It was a podcast that was done live. And at first they started out with 5 or 10 listeners. And by the time he finished working on it, which was 3 or 4 years later, they had hundreds of listeners. And so, you know, they had to pay increasingly more, but they got more and more popular. So it was worth it. You know, they could get advertisers to help defray the costs. Other questions? Yes? How to put the what on the remote server? Oh, sure. So if you want to put files on the remote server, you go back into Dreamweaver. You click on this little button right here to make sure you're connected to your remote site. Then you click on the button on the far right, which is going to open the split screen. Then you click on the folder that you want to upload, which might say like Project 2 or something. Come on through, Molly. And you hit this up arrow. And what that does is it uploads all of the files over here. If a little window comes up that says, do you want to include dependent files, say yes. Then what you have to do, like let's say there's a folder here that says Project 2 _ Carolyn or something like that. You go out to the web, you type in www.dreamco.org / the letter that corresponds to your name in the second column, and then a / and then the exact name and spelling of the folder, and then / and then the exact name of the web page as in index.html. Now, one thing some of you guys may have noticed when you were doing this is if you named your folder like Project 2 space, Smith, right? This space creates a problem because websites don't like spaces. So when you go look at your website, if you type that in, sometimes it'll put $20% in that space because it has to fill the space with something. It doesn't like that. Also, if you put a capital P on the name of your folder and then in the browser you type the lowercase p, it may not find it because it's very specific. It has to be exactly right, okay? So my suggestion to you from now on is to name every folder and every file that you use in web design with all lowercase letters and to replace spaces with either underscores or dashes. Because that way you're creating a convention or you're adhering to a convention, which is a way of doing things that works consistently across the board. So all lowercase letters, dashes or underscores, 4 spaces, and then it'll be much easier for you to locate your files on the web. Okay, other questions? Did that work, Carolyn? Okay,
So
yes.
your FTP site is really a hosting server for websites.
Correct.
So when we get our own, we would have to go to GoDaddy, which would still be called a hosting server.
Right.
Okay.
All hosting servers come with the ability to FTP into them.
Oh.
Okay? Because it's kind of like if you rent a house, there has to be a front door that'll let you get in, right? If you rent web hosting, there has to be an FTP pathway to get there so you can drop files. So any web hosting service you use is going to come with that FTP capability, right? Also the capability to attach a domain name to your website so people can type it in and see it, right? Okay, other questions? Okay, I'll go ahead and ask the question that's on everyone's lips. Can we go home? The answer is yes. Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.